सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, the sensory and motor organs, and the life force or consciousness attain to perfection. All is verily the one without second, absolute, ever blissful and perfect Brahman. May I never deny this truth of oneness. May this truth never reject me. May all the blessed virtues spoken of by the scriptures as necessary for the experience of this truth be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us meditate on this all-pervading oneness. Which takes us beyond the apparent differences of shapes, forms, or names. Let us think of ourselves as an ice cube in a huge pile of ice cubes. I am one ice cube. Another form, another person is another ice cube. Millions of them, billions of them. Each of them is different from others. I hold myself to be a special ice cube. Form relations with other ice cubes. Some are thought to be my parents. Some like my children. Some are siblings and friends, colleagues. Some are thought to be inimical. But kept in this warm room, The ice cubes are melting. I am losing my shape. As I see that I am not this shape because it changes, then I see that all shapes change and their reality is same. As the ice cube melts, gone is the shape, gone is the fictitious so-called individuality. There is the oneness, the source, the absolute, the indivisible. Our true individuality. This is the source of all bliss. It is thus the goal of life. Om, peace, peace, peace. So friends, let us begin this 144th class of this wonderful book. This treatise brings us through very attractive, beautiful stories, the truths about our life, the fundamental questions raised in the Vedanta and all other religious disciplines as to who am I? What is my true nature? What is this world about? What is the meaning of life? All these most important questions, they get answered through stories so that they become easily graspable, we can easily understand them. So that is why Jesus also said that I speak in parables. Parables, because they are liked. We like to listen to nice stories. And when that truth is given through the stories, it is like giving a bitter medicinal pill with sugar coating on it, and thus it gets inside us and works there. So let us begin with our opening chant. Try to chant as loud as you can. This happens to be the first verse of this scripture and gives the essence of it. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratah Shchartheshvabhinyasvarat Tene brahmarida ya adikavaye muhyanti yat surayah tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water, and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. Just as we were meditating, the truth, the water, is reality of all the ice cubes. And once as it melts, you don't know which part of water formed what ice cube. It is independent of any ice cube, you see. You cannot say that, oh, this is a big pool of water and this spoonful of water came from that ice cube. You cannot say that. There is nothing actually like that. It is, we are beyond all such divisions, distinctions in our true nature. And that is the goal. And that is the goal. That is why we always feel happy with unity, with oneness. It is even the simple examples I gave that Charlie likes a cookie, Charlie there and cookie here, no happiness. When Charlie and cookie become one, then there is the feel of happiness, you see. So, the oneness is what we strive for. So, this is told here that that one alone is independent reality. It is independent, just as that melted water, melted ice cubes, that water is independent of any particular ice cube. So, the reality is independent of all these different forms. So, one must remember that it is substratum of all forms. All ice cubes have that water as their substratum. But there was no particularization at all. And this particularization is the cause of our ignorance and the subsequent sufferings. It is, and therefore that has to be given up. One should not have any compromise about it. If that is the cause of ignorance, why should I retain it? A simple question, isn't it? If something I see as the cause of my suffering, if in my that shoe that I am walking with, many times it happens a small pebble gets in. And then it keeps on giving not a very pleasant sensation. And so I see the cause is that little pebble, and let me take it out. And then you feel relieved. So, this is the cause of our suffering, that perceived separation. And so Vedanta tells us to go beyond that. And this story that we were studying was like that the king Chitraketu, he wanted to have a son, and then very badly I want a son. And so nothing as such uncommon about it. That is why this is taken up, that people want the progeny, and there is actually the idea, psychology behind it is that is in search of immortality. That this body will not survive, but something coming from this body will continue. So actually it is a misplaced idea, but in ignorance we do like that. So there is the desire for a child, and there is the consequent desire for sex. That it is again an expression of the desire of oneness, that the pleasure you get is because of that perceived oneness. But that oneness doesn't last, it is not real oneness at all, and therefore there is the that disgust about it. Get away from it. So that oneness is very temporary there. Whereas when you see the oneness, like the ice cubes, if they see the oneness that we are all same, then there is no pain, no suffering. So this is, the Chitraketu could not get this truth because of the intensity of the desires. So he got a child by the blessings of the sage Angiras, but Angiras had told that it will be a short-lived child. And so I don't want to go into the details of the story that we have seen several times, that the child died, and then they had no end to their, weeping and wailing. And then at that time the sages Angiras and Narada came again. And then Narada saw that the advice being given by Angiras, very correct. But yet, because we want some concrete evidence, it is we understand, but unless we get some concrete evidence, it does not create any conviction in us. So, although Angiras gave the knowledge, the king was half convinced. Convinced means there are two types of conviction. One is just because you become speechless, you cannot reply, you cannot retort back. There is, it is like that. So I in joke tell sometimes that, well, now it is lunch and all is over, now I will lie down, and then whatever you may say I will take lying down, you see. So it is like that, not that I agree with them, but I don't want to refute anything. So whatever they may say, so king kind of, did not retort back, but was not ready to act on it, was not convinced. So Narada, with his special yogic powers, brought the soul of that dead child, uh, who could speak now to the king and all the weeping queens and other people there. And Ask that little one, the soul of that. Now it is because of the previous reference we are calling it little one. It is no more little one. The body is gone. But that soul with this subtle body, uh, when Narada exhorted, well, please, assume your previous body. These people will be so happy. You will be the king, and so forth. And the soul said, what are you talking about? I don't get it. As a soul taking various millions of different bodies, there were millions of my parents. I was parent several times. It is which of the parents you are talking about? So let us remember this, that these relations are very temporary, related only to the physical body. All physical relations end at death. One may keep on saying at one of the our we had a nice interfaith group, only the clergy members, some between 12 and 20 we used to meet, and we used to take one topic, that what once a topic taken was after death. So our Catholic priest in that, he said, we feel that, well, after this body drops off, but yet some kind of a body after death, with body we go to the heaven or the other world, heaven or hell, we go there. Uh, and somebody asked, not me, that, but then do you mean that, well, that it is the body goes? He said, well, it is very confusing, I cannot give an answer. But must be so, because therefore we Catholics, we advise against divorce. Because then these go here, husband and wife, there also in heaven they will be husband and wife. He agreed that it is very confusing. That how and why we don't know. But actually there is no meaning for these relations. They are only at the physical level. Just as the example of ice cubes we were taking, one ice cube gets connected with another ice cube. It is, what does it mean? It is, the physical death, all our friends, family and all that, how far will that last? Only till this gross body falls off. There is no meaning to that after that. So when that soul of the child said all these things, then the king got convinced that these are all just forms, or like the waves rising and falling. And we are like those waves. And like a wave is born, means starts rising and grows and falls back. So we also kind of born, body gets born as it were, grows and dies. The ocean alone is the real, means that water alone is real. The forms come and go. So that God, who is the reality of all, and which is Satchidananda, the existence itself, consciousness itself, bliss itself, that alone is real. The king Chitraketu now deeply understands it, and so is now ready to plunge into spiritual practice. Now these are the matters of practice. Understanding, okay, but now you have to practice it to make that understanding come to what is called realization or experience. It is not possible without practice. It is so you understand and then you strive to experience that. So this is the now, and for that what people do, they go to the teacher. This is the Upanishadic doctrine, that they go to what is called a guru. Mundak Upanishad says a very beautiful idea that once you experience, once you see by just logic and thinking about these things, that this world that of names and forms, that is not real. The forms come and go. Howsoever nice looking a form may be, it also dies. What you call an ugly form, that also dies. A very wealthy person dies, and a pauper also, a beggar also dies. When in that particular form, one feels the ego of I am being very wealthy, superior to this poor fellow. And the poor fellow feels that yes, I am penniless, but this rich man has become rich because of me. So both have their egos, but all that is gone as because once you die, you cannot take your money, your wealth with you. It is that it all remains here itself. A Sanskrit saying says, Artha grihe tishtanti, that all the your wealth, your house, all the beautiful things that you collected, and you were showing it proudly to all relations and friends, that this is something that I brought from Australia, and this is what I got in a very special place in Japan. And then so many things you tell. Now they don't go with you, they just remain. Uh, so, and then all that remains at home. Home also remains right there. And smashane mitra bandhavaha, that your friends, relatives and all, they come up to what? Up to say funeral home. No, nobody goes beyond that with you. It is up to funeral home. Then what goes with you? Only the subtle body, causal body, the accumulated karma. All that goes with you. So this is the king now understood this. And then there comes the desire, an intense desire. That longing. Without longing, there is no spiritual life. One must have that longing. That longing starts that yes, I have to get that, which is the fulfillment of life, the source of everything. Beyond these appearances, I want to realize the truth. And then it says, Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet shrotriyam brahmanishtham. That to know that, sa gurumeva abhigachet samit pani shrotriyam brahmanishtham, goes to Guru alone, has to go to Guru. Shankaracharya says that Shastrajñopi swatantrena brahma vidyanveshanam na kuryat. It is even if you are well-read person and are very bright, independently you should not go into this path of spiritual progress, you have to have a guru. So, thus now he is ready to accept and follow the guru. This king now is ready for that, and so Narada imparts him the mantra. Last time we saw that the mantra now can be given. The mantra is where in a way, the power of the Guru, what the Guru knows, what the Guru experiences, that it is transferred to the disciple in the seed form, so that the disciple will be able to also get it. It is similar to giving a seed. So that is mantra. It is mantra manifests as this realization of the truth. So a mantra is very, very powerful something. So one should therefore have that respect for mantra and for the Guru. So what happens is that it is this meditation process is also told by Narada here, that it is so this is the meditation on this Lord of the whole universe. Sankarshana is the name, means it is this, Karshana means attraction, and the source of all attractions. That is called Sankarshana. That Krishna also has the same meaning, the one who attracts. This is a very important thing to observe, that we get attracted to various different things at a particular time, but that attraction soon ends, because it really was not there at all. It was appearing through some form, and that yes, this is so attractive. You get attracted to a particular form, or some intellectual idea. All that is very temporary. It goes away, because it was not actually, it didn't hold any attraction. So, like children take a toy, very attracted to that, somehow to want to get it, and after a few minutes, forget about it. The attraction goes away. So it is with grown-ups also, it is like that, not different at all. It is with grown-ups the toys are different, that's all. With the children one kind of toys, with grown-ups the toys also are different, and they do not cry like children, but they understand that there is no joy in any of these, but the ignorance doesn't leave very easily, and that is why this source of attraction, what really is the source of attraction? So that is being discussed here, that is called Sankarshana. Now Narada says, now receive with one-pointed attention this mantra Upanishad. Upanishad has a deep meaning. Upanishad is the knowledge. It is not a book. In the commentary on Kathopanishad, in the beginning, Shankaracharya explains the meaning of this word Upanishad, that it is actually the knowledge that liberates. That is called Upanishad. And since that knowledge is given in a book, In a secondary sense, that book also gets called Upanishad. The idea is very important that it is Upanishad only if it liberates us. Otherwise, it is futile to call it Upanishad. It is just a collection of, this papyrus, paper. That's it. It is not it is not Upanishad. It is the knowledge that liberates when absorbed. That is called Upanishad. So, mantra Upanishad. So, you get a mantra, but it is Upanishad, means knowing which, practicing which, cultivating which, you get liberated. What a great idea. So, by meditating on it, what happens? It takes one to the supreme human goal. By meditating on it, one gets the ultimate experience of the all pervading, blissful truth manifested as the source of all attraction, Sankarshana. It is, and then he hints there that one has to therefore understand that it is, one has to go beyond the idea that I am this body, which is very erroneous, and yet almost all of us identify with body. It can be just a few logical steps can repel this misunderstanding. It is, sometimes I tell when I go to the different schools to give talks, I explain this, that look, you are all bodily, you are all in the classrooms. But are you always in the classroom? It would have been so nice, but no, you are not always there. You go somewhere else. Your mind is wandering on the soccer field or somewhere. You are not here. The body is there, but are you there? You are not. So you are not body. It is one high school girl was arguing with me, and then I said, how it is? I said, look dear, it is, suppose now if showing her nose, is it you? Yes. And then suppose it gets cut for some reason, and some prosthetic is put there. Now, will you say that piece of flesh called earlier you were calling I? Are you now that? Are you that? Said no. And this prosthetic you will start calling as I, isn't it? That is I. Yeah, many with this prosthetic leg, when leg gets amputated for whatever reason, then put some, in India they call it Jaipur foot, that a prosthetic leg is put there. So now it is, soon you start feeling it as I. It is I. So you keep it aside when you are sleeping, of course, so you keep it aside. I was traveling in the train and I was talking to a gentleman. He was actually a church minister back in India, and then we all slept. Then I saw, what is this leg here? Then I understood that that person has. And then when we woke up in the morning, the conversation continued, and then he said, I feel it is such a wonder. Although there is no leg, I still feel leg pain in my feet where the accident had happened, and that it is, the trauma still is there, and I feel the pain in the leg, in the absence of leg. It is so revealing. There is a nice book by a neuroscientist. He was a physician in New York. What is his name? I forgot. Wonderful, he has written many books. One is One Leg to Stand On. That he says it is after the surgery you put a new knee, then to integrate the knee it becomes a problem. You think that it is not you. The brain is not still connected to this idea that that leg is I. So it is not uncommon, he says, that in the hospitals where the surgery took place, the patient says, when a nurse comes with breakfast or whatever, hey, will you be kindly taking on your way back? Somebody's leg is in my bed, please take it away. So it shows that we are not the body. And this ignorance is the cause, identification with body. And which body you are identifying with? It is not your baby body when you were 2 months old. You cannot put that picture when you were 2 months old on your driving license now. It is. So you are not that. It is very difficult, friends, to get this. Most difficult idea to see that I am not body. And that is the reason that it is so difficult to realize the ultimate truth. So here it is told that the Supreme Shiva, by Narada gives the example that this mantra, even the great like Shiva practiced, and thus he was able to see the Sankarshana by removing the identification with body. So Chitraketu started practicing this meditation, this mantra, and you have to restrain the senses. The meditation process requires your senses not to take anything from outside. Just be. Sri Ramakrishna used to have this wonderful experience that as he would sit for meditation, he would hear the sounds, khat, 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 as if all the joints were locked. So no sensation would come in at all. No external sensation will come at all. So this is exemplified here, that it is this Chitraketu started practice of this mantra. All the time he was practicing it without taking anything except air and water. Minimum bare sustenance. Yeah, some people eat a lot. And they say that it is just bare sustenance, means just what is required by bear to sustain. So, bare sustenance. So, it is, it is like that, just do not take in anything. That is just what is needed to hold the body. Take that and dive deep into meditation. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that dive deep. He used to sing that song many times, that dub 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 rup sagare amar mon, that dive deep into this ocean of form. This form is there, but dive deep into that. We go beyond the apparent form. So what happens thus? There is the all the precious jewels. They are at the bottom of the sea. You will get it if you dive deep. So only superficially repeating the mantra will keep us only on the superficial level, but one has to thus learn to dive deep. Mm. And after 3 weeks, it is described here that how, after 1 week, what transformation he could see. There was a transformation, and it is described here that it is for 7 days, Chitraketu practiced concentrated meditation on the mantra communicated by Narada. And what happened then? He got the vision that he, after 2 such weeks, he got the subsidiary result. He got the permanent leadership of the Vidyadharas. Vidyadharas are the celestial beings which are full of knowledge, Vidya, and so it is those what they are. Please don't ask me. I have not seen any of them. So, but that is what this book says. This he became the lord of all these Vidyadharas. So he got, as it were, the understanding of all the different types of knowledge. So, and he got the permanent lordship over all those. So, again, for 7 days he practiced meditation with very great ardor and held by a mind that had attained to a state of very great refinement, he approached the feet of Lord Adishesha. Adishesha is another name of Lord Vishnu. What does it mean? Adishesha means the residue of everything. All the forms disappear, what remains? That is God. That is the Adishesha. The forms, they come and go, just abstract them. What remains is the essence of it. The Upanishads and other scriptures with various allegories, they bring forth this truth that you make different pots of clay. Now the pots, they can be broken. They do not have, these shapes are not permanent. So these shapes come and go. The pots get made and get broken, but the clay remains. Even when it was pot, it was clay with a shape. And when the pot is broken, it is still clay with another shape. So a broken piece or the fine particles of clay, the clay remains, the shapes come and go. That is the residue, the shesha. Shesha means that shesh has many meanings. The ultimate is also called shesha. That in especially, in many Sanskrit and Bengali, that it is, this phrase is used for the ultimate, that this is the shesh kotha. In Bengali expression will be shesh kotha, means this is the ultimate statement, shesh. So it is, that is the ultimate Adi Shesh, and Adi means it was in the beginning also. Mm. It is this, you come to this after such sincere, deep meditation. Now the king, because of his purity of mind, could get there in 3 weeks. Sri Ramakrishna, because of the tremendous purity, got it instantaneously. Uh, but then a person like Yogatmananda, how long will he have to do? Who knows? So we must be ready to do it as long as it takes. Uh, do not think that because Chitraketu did it in 21 days, our Adi Maharaj also would say, okay, I have done it already, so many weeks. Why not? It is so he may think that my mantra was not good. It is, yeah, I should get a better mantra that will bring it in 3 weeks. No, it is not that. It is how much depth is there, how much you can refrain from the intaking the world. That is what is that didn't take anything but water. That is the meaning there. Nothing was taken in by the sight and the smell and the ears. All was kept aside. And that purifies the mind. And when the mind is purified, one can see that. It may take long time, like there is this beautiful story of Shabari, a tribal little girl. She was told by a sage that, oh, you will get the this Rama's visitation. Rama will come to you, and be ready for that, and that will liberate you. Rama will come. And she was living in the forest, and so Rama, as he was in the forest, the various happenings brought him into forest, and he was going there and found this Shabari's hamlet, that, and also that little bit, that small cottage that she was staying in. And what Shabari was doing every day, she started when she was a little girl, and every day in hoping that Rama could come now, today, because the sage did not tell when Rama is going to come. So every day she would clean the cottage and the courtyard, because Rama can come any time, and would go and collect those wild berries to be offered to Rama. She didn't have there the cakes and pastries and all that. So collect some berries and then given to be given to Rama. No, Rama didn't come. The childhood gave rise to youth. She became old, grey-haired, bent, and but the practice was continuing. Wait for Rama. Ah, and that itself is such a wonderful spiritual practice. Wait on God. May come any time. Let me keep my um, cottage pure, my and the courtyard very nice looking. Aha. So, and one day he came. So how long does it take? Don't ask this question. It takes as long as it takes. You can never tell. One of our volunteers here, sometimes she would say that I will, Swami, I will plan to come on 2 o'clock, at 2 o'clock. And it is 2, 2:33, and then why you came so late? You said you 3:30. Swami, there was such a terrible traffic. I could not navigate that traffic. It is terrible, and there was an accident on the. So I said, but still, it was so bad. And you told that at 2 o'clock. How would I know you are not coming? So from uh, some time, like a few times it happened like that, and she started telling, I will be here when I am here. Because no time frame could be told. So I'll be here when I'm here. So that everybody knows that it is tautology. So it is like when will it happen? When it happens, it happens. So this at the end of that period, he found himself in the presence of the form of the ultimate reality with a pleasing and divine form. This is a pleasing divine form. Why pleasing? Because this is the source of all bliss, and therefore that becomes pleasing. So, if you look, those forms are not very pleasing at all. It is like at Kali Ghat in Kolkata. Ram Prasad and others, those sages, they say how beautiful this Kali is. What is there for those who do not have that kind of devotion? Just a stone, shapeless stone. So, how could you call that as beautiful? So, the beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, after all. You are seeking the most beautiful, you are in the presence of the most beautiful. So, therefore, that form is very, very beautiful form. And then, as you see that form, you come in the presence of that form, all sins are gone, finished. Why? Because that form is seen only as your ego, that I, uh, the uh, golden knot of that ignorance is gone. And all the sins arise because of that. So all sins are gone, and with eyes moistened by devotion, he recited a hymn for the divine, and then we shall see that divine hymn in our next class. We don't have much time to expound that. What it says is like an Upanishad, that you are the source of all, and you are the substratum of all, and so forth. So, but the attitude that is described here is very nice. He was shedding tears and tears, could not really have even the ability to say a word. And those words that are said are now trying to put words to those intense feelings of love, and understanding that was there, that it is not a finite something and yet is finite. It is a very funny idea, funny in the sense not easy to explain, and therefore it is a very nice hymn, and then the Lord responds. The response of Lord is that yes, I am what you say, I am in everything, and yet I am beyond everything. And then he grants the boons to Chitraketu, and then will come the beginning, the reason for this story. You know, this story was begun with the question of King Parikshit to Shuka. That is that how that after that Vritra was killed, this Vritra was from the demon clan, but had such tremendous devotion for God. How these two things be combined? We saw this about 7-8 classes before. So, and so this question, that's how this Chitraketu, who has such devotion, now how he became Vritra Asura, a demon Vritra, that we will be able to see in next class or next to that. These stories proceed very slowly, you know. So let us chant this concluding hymn, and after that, if you have any questions, feel free to voice them or type them if you are listening on web. निगमकल्पतरुर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्मुहुः रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any question? Yes, Charlie?
What you say about the ice cubes melting and we all become one, it goes along with my understanding. But my question is, why did Thakur say that there's a certain place where the ice doesn't melt?
Oh, yes. That there is a certain place where the ice doesn't melt. Which is that place, you know? Where even while one sees the ice cubes, one is able to see the oneness. There you go beyond the forms, even while seeing the form. It is, you are watching a movie on the screen. And forget that it is just the screen. And then suppose you start thinking that that is really happening there. And so when you see a fire, you take out your cell phone and dial 911. So then you are told, oh fellow, this is just the screen. You are calling 911 and the fire truck coming there will not be able to quench the fire that you are seeing in the movie. What, Krishna, will it remove the fire from the movie? No, it is meaningless. So therefore, but since you have the knowledge that it is really the screen only, the forms, they are not real. The movie, it is just a movie, so you do not take out your mobile phone and dial from the movie theater that there is a big fire there. No. So that is that state. While seeing the movie, you know that it is the screen alone that is real. So that is the place where the ice never will melt. You see the truth, even though you see the forms, you see the truth beyond the forms. Yeah. Any other question? Nobody has question here. Do you have a question up there? No. So good. We can have an early exit today. Because sometimes the class goes on like that if there are many questions, and then another 15 minutes. So let us do the final chant. Mm. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल। कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल।